Greetings and hallucinations. Welcome. This is Spun Together. My name is Buddy. I'm thinking about changing the name to Buddy Makes because Spun Together is all the arts and crafts that I've spun together within my life, but Buddy Makes would cover everything that I make. So, debating on that. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure which episode this is. It's just a vlog about some of the things I've been doing, some of the things I've been creating, making, and hopefully not rocking the camera anymore. And welcome, and I'm just going to go ahead and get into the show and tell part. You can reach me at spuntogether@gmail.com. I'm horrid at responding, but I do eventually get to it. You can also leave a comment. If you would, click that little bell icon down at the bottom, and that way it'll let you know when I do upload, because I've been very sporadic, especially here lately. Life happens, and things are unavoidable. But I'll get into some updates in just a little bit. I am at Mother's again, and I've been here for a while. Hopefully I'll be home again by the end of the year, and I'll do an update on some of the things that's been going on with me after I get home. But for now, let's get into a few things that I've been working on while I've been here. First of all, we'll start with some finished objects, which I have a few. One I've finished. We unfold it. Do you call it a blanket or an afghan? This thing is huge. It's about 40 some inches wide, and I am almost 5'9", and it comes to here on me. So it's well over 5.5 foot tall. I just finished it. All I need to do is rinse it out and let it dry, and it's ready to go. Mother wanted one for one of the nieces. She gave one of them an afghan earlier. She's like, I need one for the other one. So I had it started, and I was like, well, I've got this one already started, so I'll just finish it for her. I've used Pound of Love in the off-white colorway. I think it is antique white. And the other, the black, gray, and off-white, is Bundle of Love in Nightfall colorway. I used one skein of the Pound of Love and 1.5 of the Bundle of Love. I did put an I-cord edge on it, so it's got a nice rounded edge, everything just sort of smooth. When I did the color changes, I did every other round. Like when I would do a row here, start a new row here, I would finish it on the opposite end so that I would not have all my ends to weave in on one side. Did a stretchy bind off, and it's got a lot of stretch to it. When on the cast on, I did a stretchy cast on. It's very similar to a knitted cast on, and I think I've heard it called the ladder cast on. I'm not sure. It's almost like you're crocheting it on. Brain farts, they sort of get in the way a lot. A few other things that I've been working on. I'm going to have a new great niece in January, so I've been doing a few things for her. Let me get those out. I have everything in my bag, so keeping it all compact, all together. Finished objects, works in progress, you name it, it's stuffed in there. Okay. First of all, the 0 to 3 months, the newborn. This is a cardigan. I followed tutorial by, let's see, Knitting for Baby. This one is the Easy Knit Baby Cardigan, the newborn size. So I did opt, even though it has the buttons on it, I did opt for the snaps behind the buttons. And it would be hard to get off in front of people. So I've got just regular sew-in snaps. So all you have to do is just line it up and give it a pop, and it's in place. And I put a button over where it was stitched on the outside, just to cover all the stitches. I didn't want to use the kind that you press in together. I just don't trust them, not for baby's wear. This was made loops and thread. I think the colorway was lavender, but don't quote me on that. And I used a size US 6 or a 4mm needle. It was a very quick knit, an enjoyable knit. I think I had maybe 3 yards of yarn left by the time I finished. It was not very much at all. And also along the baby line, that's going to be the next few, I have the, which ones are these? The newborn to 3-month knit mittens. This is a tutorial by Pleasant Seas, S-E-A-S. They were a very quick and fun knit, a couple hours, and I had both of them finished. I do not remember, but I think this was also on a size US 6 4mm needle. Magic loop. When it's something real small, I don't usually do DPNs because they're like wind chimes and they tend to do what they want to do. So I reluctantly do the magic knit or magic loop. To go along with the mittens, I've got the booties or socks, whichever you wish them to be. These do have the seam on the bottom, but like it was described, a baby is not going to be standing or walking, so the seam on the bottom is not going to affect their feet, because most of the time their toes are going to be curled, and at the most they'll just have shoes on for looks. So I didn't worry about it, and it is still soft on the inside, so you can't really tell it unless you were walking on it. This was a tutorial by Crochet for Babies, Super Easy Knit Baby Booties, socks. And they worked up really fast. I just made them, the ribbing, a little bit long so they could be socks or folded down for booties, either way. And while I had the purple out, I looked at different tutorials. I couldn't find one that I really liked as far as what I was looking for. So I just got numbers from different tutorials and came up with the little beanie. It's just a basic beanie. I've about 1 inch of rib, then stockinette till it's about 2/3 of the desired length, and then just the basic decreases. Every other row you decrease until you've completed half your decreases, and then it's every row decrease. Instead of a pom-pom, I did opt to put the little top knot on. Just an I-cord that's got just a basic loop knot on it. A lot of people are not recommending pom-poms because older babies can reach up and grab them, put them in their mouth, and even the younger ones, if the hat is not on their head, it can go in their mouth. And there have been some cases where babies have choked on them. So, and that's the information from different tutorials. So I'm going to err on the side of caution with that. So no pom-poms. This was also a loops and thread. It's purple. I do not know the colorway of this one, but it was one of their purples. And if you know me, you know I like purple. The loops and threads were both DK weight. It's some that I had in my stash, and it was easy to work up, easy to use. For the next couple of things, another baby hat. This is a 3 to 6 month size. Again, I combined different tutorials to get my numbers. I did start with the pinhole cast on, and I worked it like I was working a Musselburgh hat. I did 4 points of increases, and with each point it have an increase on each side for like every other row, and till I get to the number of stitches that I needed, then the length that I would need, a rib, and I just opted for basic stockinette stitch and just let it curl, and it's blocked and ready to go. To go with that beanie, I've also got the sweater. Again, I used just basic snaps, covered where I'd stitch the snaps on with a button. Easy to snap, easy to unsnap. This was also a tutorial that I'd followed. It was, I've got everything written down, that's why I'm looking. Knit Baby Cardigan Sweater for Boys and Girls by Knitting for Baby. And this is a 3 to 6 month size. That was the tutorial that she had up. She is a designer that has different patterns out. So if you wish for a different size, that would be in the pattern. But her tutorials, she would go with one size and just basically go through the whole sweater with you. And super easy to follow, no issues, no problems. This was also with the size 4mm, US size 6, and it works up super fast. All right, and let me grab a drink real quick. While I was into it, and this is one of my own designs. This is about the 4th or 5th circular blanket that I've made. And I started with the pinhole cast on. Right here in the center. Start with 8 stitches, knit a row, then the next row you will increase and divide it out by 8s, and you increase every other round. The increases I did with this one, I would place a marker, and I would do my yarn over, and then go to the next marker. And that gave me that 8 sections to make the swirl. I chose to put a lace border on it. It's just one of my simple lace borders. Knit 2 together, yarn over. I did that through one row, and then basic knit for the next row. Then I did 2 rows of the seed stitch, which is what all of this is. And then I would go back to the knit 2 together, yarn over, repeat that, and the lace that I added onto the very end to finish it off is a tutorial by I Knit with Cat Fur. It starts with 4 stitches, works its way up to 7. Then when you get to the 7th stitch, you bind off 3, so it brings you back down to 4, and you start the pattern over again. It's fast, it's easy, very easy to memorize. The pass coming in, which would be from the edge going towards the material you're going to be capturing, it's just basic knit, so there's no worries there. And what I would do, I would knit in, and then I'd pick up a stitch from the fabric, and I would just, where the 2 stitches be together, I'd just wrap one over the other. and that way I just have the one to knit into, knowing that the other was already captured. To me, it makes a less bulky seam where the two join, and it's still there. It's just not as noticeable and not as bulky as you would be if you just knit the two together to join them. It's just my preference. So it's about 44-inch round. So it turned out very good. I was pleased with it. It's already been rinsed. For acrylics, I just rinse. If the water looks mucky or anything, then I will go ahead and do a wash on it. Otherwise, I will use a fabric softener when I rinse it, and I'll rinse warm water, not as warm as what you'd wash dishes with. So it's just a lukewarm water. The yarns that I used for the last couple items was Dottie by Premier, and the colorway is Garden Party. Yeah, Garden Party. This is also a DK weight, a number 3. It's fun and easy. It has a little bit of all the colors. You've got the blue, yellow, red. There's a little bit of purple, and there's some green. Yeah, there's some green. There's no orange in it. I think that's the only rainbow color missing, is the orange. And I used a size 6 needle, which is also a 4mm. To me, it worked up rather fast, because once I get started with the pinhole, I usually don't set it down until I have enough to where I know where I'm not going to be losing my place, or the ends are not going to be falling out. Then I'll either switch to magic loop or put it on a 16-inch circular until I get it big enough to work up a size, and then go from there. But that is one of my favorites to work with, as long as it's a DK or thinner. If it's thicker than a DK yarn, I will not do a circular afghan with knitting. It's just too much weight. It pulls too much, and it's more trouble than it's worth for me. Okay, and that's all of my finished objects here at my mother's. So that brings us to works in progress. And I've got a project I've started at home and I brought with me. First, let me see, I'm going to show it to you while it's in the bag so I don't get it all messed up. It's the Granny Square cardigan. I do have about 90 squares so far. Let's see. The yarn I am using for this, let me get one out, is Hirschner's Afghan yarn. This red is showing up a lot better on the camera than it is in person. The red and the orange I was a little disappointed in. They're very optominal. I did do the rainbow gradient, the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, the full spectrum. And I'm mixing it with the black. That's how the orange and the red show up once they're crocheted together. And it goes from red to orange, orange to yellow, yellow to green, green to blue. I think this one's my favorite. Blue to purple, and purple back to the red. But the red and the purple, the red shows up to me better than it does with the orange. The orange makes it more optominal than the purple does. Somehow it just mutes it out. overall I'm happy with it. I have about 90. I probably lay them out, put them together, and see how many more I need. It'll most likely it's going to be a cardigan for my mother. The squares are about, I'm going to say 2 3/4 inches, give or take. The hooks that I went through all of mine, and they just didn't seem to want to work with this yarn. So I got one of my mother's out. It's a size D or E. I'm not sure what the metric is, but it's her Susan Bates hook, if you can see. It's one that I remember her using when I was very small, so it's got a lot of mileage on it. Normally I do not like the Susan Bates hook, but with this yarn it works great. No splitting, no trouble. But with my boy and my heroes, it would split and it would catch. It just did not want to do. So apparently it's meant to be for her because it's using her hook. But all of these are made with the Hirschner's Afghan, just the different colorways. I have them all in a bag, so I'm not going to pull each one out, because I have them, so all I have to do is just pull and go. The other thing I've been working on, well, I just started. I wanted to try a different pattern. It's pitiful. This is all I have done. I started a scarf. Currently I'm testing out the fisherman's rib pattern on it. I have 40 stitches on, and US size 8, 5mm. I'm not loving it, but with the fisherman's rib I need at least this much before I can say yes or no. So this is going to be a ongoing test. See if I'm going to like it or not. If not, I think I will do a brioche on it. The yarn itself is busy enough that most patterns are going to get lost in it, and I don't want to do a basic rib stitch, knit one, purl one, rib stitch, because I want something a little bit different. The yarn is Casual Yarns, and let's see, it's a 220 superwash, 100% superwash wool, 100 grams, 220 yards, which is 200 meters. It says 20 to 22 stitches equal 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and that's using a US 6 to 7, which is a 4.0 to a 4.5 millimeter. And the colorway on here is, let me find the other ball band. I'm always losing a ball band. Colorway is 1945. That's basically it. It's got color number 1945, lot number is 10094. That was a gift. I'd won some hooks, and they put a couple of balls of yarn in as a gift to go with them, so I was extremely pleased, very happy. I've had it for over a year at home, so I thought I'm going to bring it with me and I'm going to work it up. I thought about doing just a basic scarf and hat, and I thought, no, I'm either going to do fisherman's rib or brioche, just something squishy, because it is 100% wool and it would give that little extra warmth. This part of Virginia, it gets the Ohio Valley weather, so sometimes it's a little bit colder than other parts of the state. It's more like the weather that we'd have in Nova, Northern Virginia. So you never know what it's going to be, how it's going to act. And some years we get like feet of snow, some years rain. So you never know what's going to happen. Okay, that's all of my show and tell. Well, I'm showing a lot of baggage, but I need to get that product to advertise on TV. See, I am at Mother's, so I'll give you a quick update on her. She is doing well. Some days she does a lot better than she wants you to think she is. Some days she'll say she's all right, but we know she's not. And some days it's just, leave me alone, I'm going to sleep all day. So, she's 94, so if she wants to sleep all day, I'm going to let her sleep all day. And tonight, she's already been up twice, so that means I've got about 2 more hours before she's up again. So I've already gotten a shower, gotten ready for bed, got everything cleaned up, packed up, waiting for the dryer to finish my last load of clothes. And I thought, I haven't filmed anything for a while, or recorded anything, and I haven't uploaded for ages. I think Russ with It's Raining Yarn pointed out it had been about a year. So, and a couple of other people have mentioned it. So I thought I need to get something done. I need to get going. So here I am. I will probably not have that much for show and tell for a while. I do have quite a bit at home. That has been a story within itself this past year. A lot of stuff there, which I will go into when I'm at home. But Mother has had some outpatient procedures and is recovering. We were talking last night, and she's like, I think it's going to take me at least 4 or 5 weeks to recover. I was like, you think, huh? She's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, she's already going to milk this for 4 to 5 weeks. But at least she gave me a warning, so now I know. Let's see. Other than that, that's about it. She's moving around very slowly and very cautiously, but she's still moving. Some days she's cranky, some days she's grouchy, some days she's just, leave me alone. And we take each moment as they come. Some days she wants junk food, some days she wants real food. She says I cook like her mother, which to me is a compliment, because Grandmom could just take a look in the kitchen and next thing you know, she had a meal prepared for as many people as the house would hold. I do bake like my mama, who was an excellent baker. I'm not bragging on myself, but I do love to bake. So she taught me how to bake, Grandmom how to cook, my mother taught me how to make bread, and I get the best of all the worlds all rolled into one. I guess that will be about it for now. I do have a tendency to ramble and keep on babbling. That's one reason why this is the 4th time I've recorded this video. But you all have a great day. Feel free to leave me a comment. Please do not get upset if I do not respond, because usually it's the next day or the day after, and then again in a couple of weeks I'll recheck. Spun Together, SPUNTOGETHER @gmail.com. I usually check it about once a month, and it'll give me updates here and there. I'm afraid to let it go dormant, so I do check it every once in a while. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to let me know. Like I said, that little bell icon, if you click on it, because I am so sporadic, it would let you know when I do have an upload. I appreciate you. Thank you for your patience, for understanding, and thank you for watching. You all have a wonderful day. Blessings.